Aloha, Sister Elaine here. This is going to be a brief overview of Audacity, the software editing open source for your when you're going to edit your voice and record your voice and then drop in music files. So let me share my screen. Again, just to remind you, this is a brief overview. I'll go into more detail, and I also have a really good resource for you. It's a YouTube video produced by a DJ down in Portland, and he did such a great job. Really helped me when I was starting out learning how to use this platform. So this is free, open source. You can download it from the internet, and they have irregular but frequent updates. And as soon as an update is available, when you open Audacity, it gives you a window saying there's a new version available. Would you like to update? And then you just go through that install process to update the newest version, which you always want. Now, a brief overview, like I said, let's start at the top left. You have a file menu, and in the file menu, you can create a new window, and that's what you see here. This blank thing is a brand new window. You can open an old file, a file that you've worked on before, and then there's a list of recent files. And you can open from the cloud. I don't do things, I store everything on my computer, but you can use the cloud. That's not a problem. There is a save project and a save to cloud. If you use the cloud, it's a simple click. If you save project, then you have to highlight this and then take your mouse across, and then you have three choices. If you already have a show in progress that you're editing within Audacity, you would just click Save Project. But if you started working on a project and you haven't saved it yet, then you would choose the second one. And this way you can actually name it and tell it where it needs to live on your hard drive. And I have a special Audacity folder within, and then HRC folder, and then I have years that the folders are stored in. So for example, I am going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to back out of this to my Audacity folder. And within Audacity, I have my HRC. And then I have the years. So opening up 2024 this year, I have January, February, March, April, blah, blah, blah. So if I open up June, I have all the raw recordings, and then I have the final project completed in here. So I'm going to go take that away. Remember, this is a brief overview. Don't get overwhelmed. We're going to go over this in great detail. I'm just giving you kind of a drive-by. So going back into the file menu, there's a close, which would close the screen, and then you can export it. We will be using that tab once your show is completely produced. You've got your 59-minute show, not 60. It's a 59-minute show. And if you need to import music files, this is the what you'd use, import. You would slide your cursor over and click audio. And then that actually connects me to all my music files that are stored on my hard drive, and I can select the music file I want. And then it will drop right into this window that you see here. And then there's the exit. So for now, we have an edit tab. You can do all kinds of things in the edit tab. Won't go into that right now. Generate, I use the generate silence a lot because sometimes there's an inhale that's kind of loud and raspy like this, and it comes across on the recording. I just make that silent, kind of like an eraser on a pencil. I use the effect tab quite a lot. I use fade in. It's not highlighted right now because I don't have any recordings on here. I use fade out quite a lot. You're always going to use noise reduction, and I'll explain why later, and normalize. I'll explain why later. Everything else, occasionally I'll use crossfade. Crossfade is when you have two pieces of music and you want to seamlessly blend the end of the first song into the beginning of the second song. And I found that it's kind of weird. It doesn't sound really great. So I just either end my song or fade it out, and then I let the next song start. But that's available. This crossfade is available to you. All right. And then you've got some buttons here. So this looks like, the old-fashioned tape recorders with your pause button. This is a start, so that would be playing. This is a stop. And this arrow would skip to the beginning of your entire screen, your entire project. And this arrow would skip to the very last thing that you've recorded on your Audacity project. The red is to record your voice. I've never used this. I'm not sure what this is used for. Looping. In my show, you don't need to loop. These four symbols, we will be using some of those, the top two for sure, quite a lot. The bottom two, not so much. Again, don't worry about it. Again, this is an overview. There is a plus with a magnifier, so it's a zoom in, so you can stretch out and make your recording larger so that you can see it and clip out what you don't need. And again, a smaller one. I don't use any of these others, just the zoom in and zoom out. Audio setup. I'm going to click on that now. And that tells me I'm going to check my recording device. Right now, it should be recording my microphone. This is my microphone. So I'm going to select that and just go back in and make sure that it's selected exactly. I don't use share audio. And here are some meters to show you how loud or soft something is. When you're recording or when you're playing back music, you're going to be using this one right here. Again, a brief overview. This next bar shows the seconds, 0 seconds, 1 second, 2 second. If I go, well, I don't have anything on here, so we can't make it longer, but these are all seconds. And once you get a long enough recording, then it will go into minutes and seconds. And let's look at the bottom of the screen now. Tempo and time signature, I completely ignore. We don't need them for our producing. Milliseconds will show up when you're recording or playing back a piece of music. That's very helpful to know how long something is. And 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. This will also populate when you are playing back either a music piece or your recorded voice. And we do use this top bar, not the bottom bar, as a reference point, and I will share that with you later. So this is your brief overview. I do have queued up a recording that I did, and I'm going to minimize this screen. And here's a recording I've already done. This was my September 7th show that just aired a week or so ago. Here you have my voice, Auntie Alla's voice, and then the songs are listed here. These are all the songs in this first break. And this is my recorded voice and Auntie's recorded voice. Until we're pow. With the end of the first hour, this is a 59-minute long show. And here these buttons are more accessible because I've already have something recorded on here. If I click this arrow, it skips to the very end, and you can see my cursor is now here at the very end. And if you look at this larger timer box, we're at exactly 59 minutes and 0 seconds, and that's how long your show is. And if it's too long, then you have to cut some off. We can go back to the beginning. So now my cursor is at the very beginning. And I'm going to click near my mic break, and I'm going to use the zoom in button, and you're going to see the recording get larger so you can see it spaced out a little bit more. And here, let's play this. This is the introduction.
From the islands of Aloha to Wakine Kona, you are now tuned in to the Hawaii Radio Connection on 91.3 FM KBCS. And now your hosts, Auntie Ala and Sista Elaine.
91.3 KBCS. Aloha mai kako.
All right, so that's an example of what your show can look like when it's all pretty and nice and neat. It doesn't start off this way, but that's how it will end. Okay, that is enough for today as a brief overview of using Audacity as a one recording source. There are others which I will discuss on the next video. Aloha, ahui ho.